Hi, welcome back to Garden on the Moors. We're now well into June and it's time for the next garden tour. Let's go take a look around. So I'll just start in the little patio area. As you can see, the little terracotta pots we made a few weeks ago are looking absolutely brilliant. The geraniums are really loving it in there, which is great to see. And then the big pots at the back, phew, look at them. The figs look fantastic. I'll probably start giving them some feed before long, just because they're in pots. And the Salvia Amistad, gorgeous. I see the little pink, bright pink geraniums there. The strawberries that my granddad gave me that were supposed to be humongous are coming along nicely, but they're not humongous. They're like normal size, which I kind of expected, to be honest. Got another one just there, a bit further along. But they do look really good, so it might have been a bit cheeky on the size, I promise, but at least the fruit's there. But I'm really, really happy with that pot. All the pots really, I think they just look brilliant. And we also have these geraniums there. So these pink ones are from Cuttings. Oh, that's a dog. And then, right, thank you, Alex. Yep. And then we have those just there. Gorgeous, gorgeous. There he is, in all his glory. The laburnum tree up there was looking absolutely fantastic a couple of weeks ago in full flower. I've got a lovely clip, I'll just show you now. Just below that I have my holding area for different seedlings and cuttings, that sort of thing. So I've got loads of leek seedlings here which are ready to go out when the potatoes have been harvested. And just to the side I have loads of cuttings. You might have seen the video quite recently of taking some lobelia cuttings. I'll just show you potting up those now for you. As well as cuttings, we also have some seedlings. So there's some courgette and pumpkin seedlings there that are ready to go out. I'll be one of my jobs for the weekend. And yeah, plenty more stuff growing, which is brilliant. Now here's a lovely sight. This is the greenhouse now in June. So before we get to there, I got some seedlings. So these are Swedes. They're looking really good. They're a bit leggy, but I'm hoping to get them out soon. They've got their first true leaves coming on. Once they're a little bigger, I'll pop them out. And I'll have some more cuttings in there as well. And another courgette. Another courgette just there. So once that's a little bigger, I'll be able to pop that out too. But the real stars of the show are the tomatoes, because they're just looking incredible. So the other thing as well, basil. How good is that? Really, really happy with that. I'm actually tempted to have some of that tonight for tea. I'm going to make a little spaghetti bolognese and pop some of that in there. So that would be lovely. Just behind the basil there, I've got my padron peppers, which are in flower. So I'm hoping that they'll be fruiting before long. I'm going around with a little paintbrush at the minute and just pollinating them all. Just to make sure they're definitely pollinated, but really, really happy with those. The habanero peppers are looking really good. I mean, compared to last year, these are looking fantastic. The growth is just brilliant. It's been incredibly hot and dry here in Cornwall lately, which has meant that this is probably the reason why the peppers have done so well and the tomatoes are fruiting, are flowering. So that is, what variety is that? That's Elsa Craig, which is like a sort of middle-sized salady tomato, really, really nice. And all I'm doing with these now is just giving them a little tap on that bamboo stick, just to get the pollen jiggling around and to pollinate the flowers. So that again, we'll get some lovely fruit off of those. More flowers just there, heaps and heaps of flowers. Peppers are just looking so good. I think we're going to get really early harvests of tomatoes and peppers this year, which is brilliant, because last year they were just pants. They just hated every second of it until about September. We didn't get fruit till September, which was pretty disappointing. But I think this year we're looking pretty good. That's the Black Beauty at the end. Now I think they're quite a big tomato and there's a heck of a lot of flowers on there, so I think I'm going to have to thin the fruit so that we get good quality big tomatoes rather than lots of struggling ones. But any tips on that will be brilliant. Also in here I've got my garlic drying off. I'm a bit disappointed in my garlics this year. I think the dry spell we had right at the end of winter hasn't helped them at all. We had a decent bit of rain in March, but since then it's been absolutely bone dry. I've been trying to water them with a watering can. Some of the bulbs look pretty good. Like that one's okay, but compared to last year where they look brilliant, it's a bit disappointing. But you know, you win some, you lose some. I've got amazing tomatoes and peppers, not so amazing garlic, but still edible garlic. So, you know, I'll just let them dry off and then I'll be able to store them. Again, what I'll do is save the best bulbs so I can plant them again next year. And then we'll eat the remainder. So yeah, all in all pretty good. The strawberries that I moved in winter and planted outside the greenhouse, my God, they have done so well. That was such a good move. See the fruit coming on. Ooh, God, it's so exciting. There's just so much fruit in here. I haven't fed it. It's just all the old chicken manure that's in there and plenty of water. Obviously I've covered it up now because the hens will try and eat the fruit as well as the wild birds. So just to keep a bit of a tabs on them all. But yeah, really, really happy. We've even got some more flowers, so hopefully we'll get a bit more of a spread. But I'm just so pleased with how they're looking at the minute. I can't wait to eat them, especially these here. They're looking really, really good. The rhubarb's looking good. It did have a bit of a time of it. So I have netting around here because the chickens absolutely love to eat the rhubarb leaves. They don't tend to eat much of my plants, if I'm honest, except for rhubarb. They absolutely go to absolute town on it. They love it dearly. So I cover this up and they recently managed to get in and cause absolute carnage, but covered them back up again and they've recovered well, which is really good to see. My little Katie apple is looking okay. It's like a lot of things, it's got a bit of pest damage here. I think this is aphids causing the leaves to curl, but we have got some fruit. Can you just see that? It will focus. No, we're struggling. But we have got some fruit coming, which is really, really exciting. I think there's more dotted around. There's one in there. I don't know if you can see that. Just in those leaves there. So there are some fruits coming, which is really, really exciting. Now, as I pan around, you'll see what I mean when I say we've had a dry spell. The meadow area is not looking particularly lush and meadow-like. It's looking more like, I don't know, somewhere in south of Spain. Do you know what I mean? There's no flowers at the minute. I can take it back. There's one flower. But normal going on, this has got lots of flowers, lots of lush grass. But it's really, really struggling in the hot, dry wind that we've had. We haven't had any decent rain for ages and ages. We're being, well, they say we might get some tonight. I really, really hope we do. And over the next few days, which would be really nice. But yeah, the grass is just really, really struggling. Luckily though, the raspberries are having a good time. Obviously I'm watering these with a watering can, and it's working really, really well. We have loads and loads of fruit coming on. God, I can't wait. I just can't wait. This is so exciting. Loads and loads of fruit here, which is brilliant. I'm going to have to cover these up because, again, the wild birds and the chickens will be after it all. Now then, just to the side where I was trying to extend the raspberry patch, that hasn't really worked, if I'm honest. Some of the plants have done well, but I've still got this blooming great gap right here. So the plan is, rather than buy new ones, what I've noticed is that the raspberries are trying to come out of their little boundary. I mean, like here, for example, this plant here isn't in my border, but it's absolutely brilliant plant. There's two there even, so I've got two canes there. So what I'll do is, in the winter, when they're dormant, dig them up and I'll pop them in this gap here. I have been trying to move some of the smaller suckers, but with it being so dry, it's just so hard to keep on top of the watering. I mean, I am watering them a lot, but it's just not enough really to help them settle in. They may survive, they may not. I'm trying my best with them, but I have got, you know, some other canes there that are doing well. So it's just this gap. It would look really good if it was a nice complete, you know, a nice complete row of raspberries. Never mind. You win some, you lose some. Sweet peas looking good. We've got loads of them in the house. You've got to keep constantly cutting them, and then you'll keep getting flowers. The flowers have been beautiful. They're not the Gwendolyn, which is what I originally ordered. They are a dark purple and like a, how can I describe it? Like a speckledy white and purple. They look really pretty and smell amazing. Now, I don't know if you remember my last tour, but I mentioned about this pear tree. Well, it was struggling then. It's doing very well now. Whatever was up with him, he's got over. And is now looking fantastic again, which is really, really great to see. I do need to cut back these hawthorns. Just back, not get rid of them, just push them back a bit, just so there's space and they're not overarching the plants below. But looking really, really good. Now, the flower border has been an absolute triumph. What's he looking at? We've got that gorgeous red rose. Now, that red rose had died off possibly last year, I think it died off. Well, the first year it died off, started to come back last year, and now it's flowering and it's absolutely gorgeous. We've had amazing, amazing irises this year. I'll pop some clips in of those just now. So yeah, really, really great iris action going on here, probably because of the lovely weather that we've had. I've got some of my plants in there coming along for later in the summer. And best of all, the roses are out in full force now. So I've got my little favourite one there, Septodile, I think, Septodile. Look at that. Just beautiful, and they smell amazing, amazing, amazing. That peony behind was looking brilliant too. Look at that. Perfect yellow rose. Sophia's. See that? Amazing. And then just behind, I've actually got lupins. Now, I didn't think that I'd be able to grow lupins in the back garden. I've got some at the front, but I didn't think I'd be able to grow any in the back garden because apparently the chickens would destroy them. But actually, I've got one back there, which you can possibly see, and one here. So, yeah, been pretty lucky. Plenty more stuff growing back here. This is my new rose. God, it's so yellow, it's struggling to focus on that, isn't it? But that's my new rose, which is doing obviously really, really well. And then we've got lots more plants back here as well for later in the summer. This Alstroemeria, which a friend on Instagram gave me, didn't flower last year, but it is flowering, or starting to flower now, which is really exciting. We've got some salvias, got Salvia Amistad there. Then, oh, I can't remember it now. It's something pink. What is it again? Oh, I can't think of its name. But anyway, watercolour. And I've got the red one as well. I bought a red one too. That's not actually out yet. I suppose it'll be another couple of weeks. But it's looking like a lovely colour now. So yeah, really, really happy with how the flower bed is doing. Right, time for the highs and lows of the veg patch. So, peas. Now then, if you've been watching my other videos, you'll know that I've had a bit of trouble with these peas because a mouse came and ate them, so I had to do another sowing. Since then, the weather's been pretty atrocious, so they're not as big and bushy as they would normally be, but I do have pea pods on the way. So, you've got to take your wins where they are, you know, and we have got peas technically, just not very many of them. God, it's really struggling to focus there, isn't it? So the overwintered onions are looking really good. Obviously the garlic's out, just showed you that drying off in the greenhouse, but these onions are looking really good. They're sending up a few flower spikes, but it doesn't matter, we'll be eating these first, so they'll be absolutely fine. The chard is out and broccolis are in. So that first row there are my last succession of broccolis. They're doing quite nicely, I'll be honest. And then to the side is my first sowing, but actually they're probably going to be the second harvest because I'll show you some others down the way that are looking brilliant. Then I have my red onions. They're looking quite nice. I've got some carrot action on the go. The germination rate wasn't good, so I've sowed some more and they have germinated quite well, so that's really exciting. More onions, also looking quite nice. And then heaps and heaps of potatoes. So these are my new potatoes. Won't be long before I harvest them. I'll be harvesting them this month, in the next couple of weeks. I'll probably wait for them to yellow off a little bit, but I've had a look at some of the tubers because they keep popping out. I keep having to cover them back up again, and they're looking brilliant. So that's really, really exciting. So can't wait to harvest them and have some lovely, fresh, new potatoes. And then these are the broccolis that I mentioned a minute ago. These are actually the second sow-in, but they're just done crazy. They've done so, so well. So what I need to do is probably get another one of these nettings so that they're not so squished in there. But they're looking really good. We should be harvesting them, I reckon, this month, which will be brilliant. So all in all, considering the really dry weather we've had, pretty good, I'd say. Really, really happy with the results. Just behind the flower bed, in this little shed there, we've actually had some sparrows nesting, which has been really good. And that's something I really, really love, is all the birds and stuff that we're supporting in this garden. We also had some blackbirds nesting in this lovely big camellia underneath the laburnum tree. He was singing outside our window for ages and ages, which is just wonderful. But they also managed to successfully rear some chicks. Just up from the quails, we also have this nest box up here, and that's been really, really busy with blue tits coming and going with lots of food. That's been also really, really nice to see. Well, I'm pleased to say that the quails have been loving their new plants in here that Brandon planted for them. They've gotten on really, really well and have settled down after the change up in their habitat, and they've started to lay eggs again, which is really, really good. They're quite nervous birds, so any change and they stop laying for a little while. But they're back on now, which is brilliant. There we are. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give a big like and subscribe for more, and I'll see you again next time. Cheers.